2, 1. Okay, we're official.
Light.
Jazz.
Kara. Fractions.
Okay.
Pineapple.
So,
Pineapple.
and then let me just put a little right here so I don't. Okay. All right. So if you recall, on the homework, if I gave you something like this, 2x plus 7y equals 40, and 4x minus 7y equals negative 4, we are looking, guys, sorry. This is a system of equations. There's more than one equation, right? And we're being asked to find where they cross. But we're going to use an algebraic method called the elimination method. Okay? And as that's a 2. It doesn't look like a 2. That is a 2. Okay? And as you look at these, the thing you're looking for is the coefficient. What is the coefficient again?
The number in front of the variable.
The number in front of the variable, right? Exactly, right? So I'm looking at the coefficients in front of the x, and I have a 2 and a 4, right? I'm now going to look at the coefficients in front of the y. I have a positive 7 and a negative 7. So immediately I know that if I added these two equations together, those would cross out, right? That's what we did last night. That's what we did yesterday. Everybody's pretty comfortable with that? You understand that? All right. But what if I gave you a different, okay, so that's an example of last night's. I think I won't change that. I think I'll do this. I'll do a different one. Okay, what if I gave you this? 4x plus 3y equals 24, and 4x minus 4y equals negative 4. Okay, so now we're going to use the same method. We're going to ask ourselves to look at the coefficients in front of the x's. I've got a positive 4 and a positive 4. And in the front of the y's, I have a positive 3 and a negative 4.
I know what you mean.
What could I do, Basie?
So instead of crossing out the y's in this situation, you just cross out the x's, 4x.
But it's not positive and negative.
But
It's impossible.
notice if I add them together, I'll have 8 x's
Yeah.
minus 1y is equal to 20. Right? So suddenly I won't eliminate my x's or my y's the way it is. So could I manipulate one of the equations to make it? What would you do, Gregor?
Well, I just have a question. What's wrong with not eliminating one of the...
If you don't eliminate one of the variables, then you are going to have two variables. And you're basically, the whole purpose of adding these together is to create one equation with one variable, because then you can solve for that variable. But if we add these together the way they are, and if I do it, I get 8x minus y is equal to 20. I have one equation with two variables, and I can't solve for those two variables with one equation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That doesn't help me. So I want to eliminate one of them. That's why we call it the elimination method. So, yes, Lucas, what did you notice?
So you can divide everything in the second equation by 4, and then you get x minus y equals 1, negative 1. Yeah.
Well, but that
Well, wait a minute, but that's a good idea. That's a good idea, except that you said in this one, right? If we divided this by 4, I'm going to do it over here. I've got 4x minus 4y equals negative 4.
Then you get x
And I'm going to
minus
divide
y.
that by 4, divide that by 4, divide that by 4.
You get x
I
minus
get
y equals
x
negative 1.
minus y is equal to negative 1. But if I put that with this now, I'm going to put this top one over next to it. 4x plus 3y equals
It still
24.
doesn't work, yeah.
If I add them together, I still don't eliminate. All right, Rosemary, what would you do?
Could you multiply everything by a negative?
Yes. Think about that. Think about what you just said.
Multiply it by negative
What would ideally I want? I would want
That to
one
be
of these
negative.
to be negative,
So
right?
you multiply one of the equations by
Oh,
negative.
so let's just multiply only one equation, all by negative 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you do that, do you know what happens to all the signs in the equation?
They flip.
They flip. So really, technically, all I have to do is this. if I'm gonna multiply, in my brain, I'm saying, I'm gonna multiply one of these equations by -1. I'm gonna multiply the bottom one. If I multiply the top one, where would that be a problem? It-
24.
It would mean suddenly I'm gonna have negatives, a lot more negatives. And that's not a problem, it's just like, it's just a little extra work and more likely to make a mistake, right? So suddenly I can just change every single sign in here. -4 plus 4y plus 4. Did you see what I just did?
Yeah.
Everybody see that?
Yeah.
I came in and I changed every single sign. Does that make sense?
Well, wait, so
You multiply everything by -1. And when you multiply
Technically,
something
this,
by -1,
technically, this is what I did,
it's
Basie. Here's my equation, right? My second equation. And I did this. I multiplied it by -1. And when you multiply an equation, Basie, by -1, every sign, this is a positive 4x, now it's a negative 4x. This is a -4y, negative times negative is now a positive 4y. -4, negative times negative is a positive 4. Does that make sense?
yeah,
So
now
suddenly, all I did here was I just changed every single sign.
So that means that like on tonight on the homework we're gonna have to multiply by -1.
Exactly.
or -2.
Every problem on tonight's homework, you're going to be multiplying by a -1. Yes, Irene.
What if it's not just that they're not negative and positive? What if there's no numbers that like match up?
That's tomorrow's lecture. Okay, so don't worry about it. I'm just trying to keep it isolated, you know, each new thing isolated so you can master that and feel comfortable with it. You know? So, okay, here we go. So we're going to add these together now, right? Can we?
Yes. So we have
Because it's a positive 4 and a negative 4. So suddenly my x's are eliminated. 7y is equal to 28
Y equals
divided by
4,
7.
X equals 3.
Y is equal to 4. Look how easy that was. All we did is flip all the signs, and then we could easily solve this, right? And now we got to figure out our x, right? So I'm going to say 4x
X
plus
is 3.
X
3 times
Y is-
4,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, x
y
is 3.
is 4 now, right? Equals 24. So 4x plus 12 equals 24, minus 12. 4x
X equals 3.
equals 12 divided by 4, x equals 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's my answer. Easy, right? Pretty darn easy. Let's try another one.
It's really fun. I like it.
Yeah, I like these too.
It's just one x plus
3. Okay, so 3. Let's say we do, let's do this. We got 4x plus 2y equals 8, and we have negative 2x.
Jerry, can
I mean,
just
sorry,
put on the
excuse me.
board?
And we have positive 2x plus 2y equals 6. Now I have the video going right now, so I can't have somebody come up here.
Oh.
But I could have one of you tell me what to do. All right, so Jaden,
Okay, so
he has the longest stick right now. It's dangerous. If I don't
Wait,
call on him, I feel threatened.
so
okay.
you divide everything by 1
Where am I? Oh, over here.
negative.
Right. So note, did you hear what he just said? He said you could divide one of the equations by -1, or you could multiply either one, right? It's the same thing. You get the same result whether you multiply by -1 or divide by -1, right?
Wait, but wouldn't that mean that both of them cross out? Because if we change, oh no, never mind.
Okay. So he's saying, which one do you want to change?
The bottom.
The bottom one. Why did you choose the bottom one? I'm just curious.
I don't know.
Looks
I would have chosen the bottom one.
It looks easier.
Because I look at my C, I look at this number on the right side. Which one would you rather have negative?
Negative.
Bottom one because they're smaller.
Right, I want the smaller one negative, personally, that's just my personal preference. It works either way.
Negative.
You're not wrong either way. But I just like to look and I use strategy to decide which one I'm gonna make negative, right? So I now know that I have to change, if I multiply this or divide this by -1, the second equation, I'm going to change every sign in the equation. So I'm going to just, instead of rewriting the equation and writing divide by -1, I'm just going to change every sign in the equation. Does that make sense? Right? So now this is a negative. Now this is a negative, and this is a negative. okay?
Y equals 2, x equals 1.
So now I have 4 x's minus 2
Y
x's.
equals -10.
That gives me 2 x's.
2x is equal
Then
to
these cross out. 2y minus 2y cross out. Equals
2.
8, okay, 2, divide by 2, x equals 1. And now what do I do?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Y equals 2.
So if x equals 1, 4 times 1 is 4. So I have 4 plus 2y equals 8, right? Subtract 4. That's an 8. So 2y is equal to 4 divided by 2. Divide by 2. Y is equal to 73.
What? No, it's
It's 2.
I'm just seeing it.
Gary, the math teacher, has failed.
Okay, there we go. We got it.
God.
Right? Make sense?
Yeah.
They're really fun. They're really fun. It is really easy. Yes, I'm going to do the homework. Let's do the homework.
Yeah.
And are there any questions? I just realized this got, you guys, if you do knock this though, just so you know, everything's off the screen while I'm recording. All right, but just be aware. Okay. So